Good afternoon all. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
So we will start our second session. So a very good afternoon to one and all present with us today. I, Piyali De, Assistant Professor of Faculty of Pharmaceutical Science, Assam Downtown University, would like to welcome you all on behalf of our department to this faculty development program on paradigm shift in pharmaceutical education and research in post-pandemic era. Now I would like to provide a brief outline of today's speaker. Dr. Shubham Banerjee. Dr. Shubham Banerjee is currently working as an associate professor in the Department of Pharmaceutics, National Institute of Pharmaceutical Education and Research, NIPER, Guwahati, Assam. He is also a visiting scholar of the University of Texas at Austin, USA. In addition, he is also serving as a coordinator cum co-principal investigator in the National Center of Pharmacoengineering funded by DPRP DST Government of India. Dr. Banerjee did his doctoral degree from Birla Institute of Technology, BIT Meshra, in collaboration with Defense Research Laboratory, DRL, DRDO, Tejpur, Assam, in the year 2015. After completion of his doctoral degree, he was selected as an innovation awardee in devices at Translational Health Science and Technology Institute, NCR Biotech Science Cluster, Faridabad. In 2015, he received Fast Track Young Scientist Startup Research Grant by Science and Engineering Research Board, SCRB, Government of India. He has more than 9.5 years of experience, 9.5 years of teaching and research experience. He possesses 4 granted patents, 2 granted design patents, and a 3D printed technology-derived product transferred to industry, and 9 international book chapters, published many research articles in peer-reviewed international journals. He is an active member of National Academy of Sciences, member of the Royal Society of Chemistry, Life Fellow of Indian Chemical Society, West Bengal, and Dr. Banerjee's research area focuses on pharmacoengineering, pharmaceutical additive manufacturing, and cutting-edge translational pharmaceutical research. Now, I would like to take this opportunity to invite Dr. Shubham Banerjee, sir, to please deliver the lecture based on your topic, Paradigm Shift in Pharmaceutical Research Implementing Pharmacoengineering Approach. Sir, please welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Piyali. Am I audible and visible to all?
Yes, you are audible and it's also visible.
Okay, thanks. So at the outset, thank you so much, and thanks, Piyali, for organizing such innovative event, which is one of the need of the hour, in fact. And basically, I'm really happy to share the dais and to also share my insights and views on the topic today, where I'm going to deliver about the current research line, which is basically all about paradigm shift in pharmaceutical research, implementing pharmacoengineering approach. So I think my slide is visible, right? It is in full screen mode.
Yes, your slide is visible, sir.
Great, thank you. So as I am mentioning, this particular field of pharmacoengineering is a kind of a very innovative and cutting edge advanced approach. And this entire FDP series organized by Assam Downtown University is all about paradigm shiftment in the pharmaceutical education and research. So that is why I thought to propose the current areas of research, what recent paradigm shift we are observing in the field of pharmaceutical research. And basically our lab is exclusively working on this implementing of pharmacoengineering approach. Just it's an effort to shift the paradigm in the field of pharmaceutical education and research. So I'm not going to say about details about myself. Already Piyali introduced me, and many thanks for that, Piyali. So I'm directly moving towards the definition of the pharmacoengineering approach. So basically, pharmacoengineering is something a very new and novel concept, and this concept is basically originated in the way back 2018 in our laboratory called NIPER Guwahati. And basically, the concept of pharmacoengineering is conceived by North Carolina Chapel Hill University, USA. And they basically proposed the thought process of pharmacoengineering, which is a kind of an emerging branch in the pharmaceutical research. And it basically integrates all the kind of latest, advanced, cutting edge translational healthcare engineering research aspects. And in the intervention of the pharmaceutical science for potentiate the translational outcome leading to improve the quality of life and also to improve the patient compliance as well. So this is something where pharmacy is going to merge with the engineering people, and the blending of the pharmacy along with the engineering basically creates or evolves a new paradigm, a new dimension, a new branch of pharmaceutical research that is nothing but pharmacoengineering. And we believe those who are working in the field of pharmacoengineering, they are basically the pharmacoengineers for future. And those pharmacoengineers, they have nothing to do without applying the latest experimental knowledges as well as in conjunction with their theoretical and the practical methods to solve any kind of problem in medicines and drug delivery mediated therapeutic intervention. So this is the overall layout of the definition of pharmacoengineering, because it is always essential to know that what is the definition of pharmacoengineering is and what is the role of a pharmacoengineer when he will work upon the pharmacoengineering aspects. So by that way, we thought, okay, now let's change the definition of pharmaceutics. So pharmaceutics is no more dosage form development. We believe that pharmaceutics is a kind of a pharmacoengineering approach, and it's basically will help you to create a center for excellence in unique therapeutic intervention, addressing the community and social issue altogether. So that is called basically the pharmaceutics in nowadays. So with the thought process of pharmacoengineering, in the year of 2019, just 3 years back, we able to implement a National Center of Pharmacoengineering at NIPER Guwahati campus in Guwahati. And you can see this is the sanction letter, and it is a more than 5 crore funded project supported by Department of Science and Technology under the Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India. And there we did a lot of brainstorming session at the ministry. We proposed our concept of pharmacoengineering, and we told that pharmacoengineering is a very, very new concept. It is nothing but an old concept, and it is a very new and paradigm shift in the field of pharmaceutical education and research. If ministry can fund us, so we will definitely able to do some innovative research. We will be able to design some innovative delivery strategy against many diseases, including neglected and rare, etc. So this is based on our that thought process, ministry sanctioned this particular letter in the year of 18th April 2019, and from there we started the journey of National Center for Pharmacoengineering. So National Center for Pharmacoengineering basically focused on the 3 important benefits of the societal and community issue. The first is the technology benefits, second is the health benefits, and finally it is the socio-economic benefits. So these 3 benefits are equally important, and we should equally address all these potential benefits all together under the cluster of National Center for Pharmacoengineering. So basically this is one of the state-of-the-art facility, and this facility is basically a kind of a translational health science and technology approach with creating an innovative and fascinating drug delivery system for the future needs, with the aim of improving the quality of life with the aim of improving the patient compliance, and also as far as socioeconomic benefits is concerned, this center is also focused with the poverty alleviation strategies. So now the question may come, okay, so what kind of approaches we can opt into the pharmacoengineering aspects? So under the umbrella of pharmacoengineering, it's a very broad term indeed, but still under this particular platform technology, one can work with the particulate-based engineering approach, one can work on the reverse engineering-based approach, delivery engineering, and finally additive manufacturing or 3D and 4D printing kind of technology platform. So if you see, okay, these are the prime engineering approaches under the umbrella of pharmacoengineering are existing. And many of the audience, many of the students, researchers, throughout their entire journey of Sutix or dosage form development, I am very much confident, okay, we are working in the field of particulate engineering, delivery engineering, etc. Because all of we are making nanoparticles, microparticles, etc. And these particles are nothing but under the flagship program of the pharmacoengineering, because where we are engineering our particle, we are engineering our delivery system. So the process of the particulate engineering and the delivery engineering is a very known fact. I am not going into detail into this particular engineering parameters or approaches, but on the other way, the most interesting approaches of the pharmacoengineering is reverse engineering, which basically we called deformulation approach or recipe hacking techniques. And the other approaches of pharmacoengineering is called additive manufacturing or 3D and 4D printing technology. So now, out of these 4 different engineering approaches, we have only picked in this particular National Center for Pharmacoengineering is additive manufacturing or 3D and 4D printing technology. And why we picked this particular piece of topic? Because when we are doing the literature in terms of the person who are basically dealing with the different type of researches as far as pharmaceutical application is concerned, then we found this is the very important area, the reverse engineering and additive manufacturing engineering, where there is a very, very less number of people or researchers are working in the field as far as our nation is concerned. So then we conceived the thought process of additive manufacturing or 3D printing technology. And then we started exclusively working in this particular field of manufacturing. And I'm very much happy to mention to all of you that this is the first and foremost national center in the entire nation, in the entire India, where we are exclusively working in the field of additive manufacturing in pharmaceutical application. And by that particular thought process, we thought making and design is not that much great unless and until it is translatable. So in order to make it translatable, we thought to knock the door of several pathways. The first pathway is the design of the dosage form. So design means in terms of your virtual design, in terms of your physical design. Prototyping of the dosage form or delivery system, that is nothing but the part of a printing job. And the product optimization through the implementation of various artificial intelligence kind of tools like machine learning, machine vision, as well as random forest, artificial neural network, etc. So these are all the process of optimization where one can easily use the AI tools for product dosage form optimization purpose. And then once the things are optimized, it is always better to investigate all the physico-technological validation parameter of the prototypes. And finally, the efficacy and safety measurement of the developed prototypes as well. So this all together, starting from design to up to the safety and efficacy evaluation, is nothing but a creation of a sustainable, robust, deliverable system, which having a huge translational potential. It's a good market value, which is one of, we can say, a unmet medical need of the society, also the need of the hour to mitigate all this issue. So now the question may come, okay, why we have picked this 3D printing and additive manufacturing when particulate engineering, reverse engineering, delivery engineerings are existing. So basically, this is one of the very much interesting slides, and in my every presentation I used to highlight this particular piece of slides. The reason behind, okay, these are the 30s next generation technology which is going to rule all across the globe. And here these 30 technologies are basically kind of a boom in the society. It's a kind of evolving technologies, and it is some technologies that might be upcoming to our nation, some already we have started working in it. So apart from this 30 technology, we thought that, okay, let's work on the 3D printing or additive manufacturing, rapid prototyping technology with special emphasis on its pharmaceutical applications. Then when we started working on this additive manufacturing and rapid prototyping, at the same time, we realized the need of the pharmacogenomics or as well as advanced genomics approach. So I'm not going to tell about more related to the pharmacogenomics, because already the previous speaker of this entire series, he depicted well about the pharmacogenomics part of the event. But this pharmacogenomics is one of the essential tool to implement the additive manufacturing and rapid prototyping kind of thing, because it is all about, okay, one size fits for all. And nowadays people are also thinking, okay, how best they can integrate artificial intelligence with the additive manufacturing. So whether it is possible or it is something, a rocket science kind of approach. So the simple and straightforward answer is no. Additive manufacturing can also be easily integrated with artificial intelligence, and where we can use various AI tools, as I have mentioned, like machine learning, machine vision, artificial neural network, system variable maps, random forest, etc. So this kind of model can be easily integrated for the prototype design, prototyping, and process optimization purpose. But at the same time, if you can look at this particular piece of slide, we can also see there is another segment called advanced material, that is serial number 21 over here. That is a kind of a very much fascinating and evolving chapter, because nowadays government is giving more fund towards artificial intelligence, also towards the new material for synthesis, new material for additive manufacturing, etc. So where advanced material is something which is the need of the hour, and it is basically the demand to implement all the latest technology to pursue it further. So altogether, if we can make a cluster, so we can see, okay, serial number 1, artificial intelligence, serial number 11, 3D printing, serial number 21, advanced material, serial number 18, health technology. These all are basically complementary with each other. They all are basically made for each other. And that is why under any points of circumstances, one can easily mingle this kind of advanced technology with different disciplines. And that is basically the beauty of any technology. So it's a kind of a Lata Mangeshkar song, ke mile sur mera tumhara, to sur bane hamara. On the similar philosophy, if you integrate the different technology platform all together in a single cluster, so you are going to evolve a new technology, you are going to create a new dimension, a new paradigm shift in the field of pharmaceutical education and research as well. So now moving forward towards the pharmacoengineering team, whatever I have mentioned, okay, this is one of the cutting edge technology and healthcare research area where from the extreme corner of the northeastern part of the country, we started working in the field of pharmaceutical additive manufacturing and 3D and 4D printing technology. And this is basically my lab. These are the 3D and 4D printers. And this is my research group. I will introduce with them later of my slides. And basically we started this kind of activity way back 2018. So before going towards what are the research activities are carried out at the National Center for Pharmacoengineering in Naipar, Guwahati, I would just like to give you some essence about 3D printing. Okay, what is basically the pharmaceutical 3D printing? Is it a very new concept, or it is something which is a very much sophisticated or fancy kind of terminology? So if you see these slides, so you will be surprised to know, okay, the evolvement of the pharmaceutical 3D printing technology is not new. The genesis of this technology, the first patent application for this kind of 3D printing technology was originated in the year of 1980. In fact, it is before my date of birth, and I believe many of you are in the pipeline. So 1980, so almost we are talking 40 years back history when pharmaceutical 3D printing started. And the first patent application was filed by Professor Charles Hull in the stereolithography-based 3D printing techniques. So in my later course of event, I will tell you about different types of 3D printing platform technology. What is stereolithography? What is selective laser sintering? What is fused deposition modeling? So these are the different technological intervention, technology platform, and one can use this kind of different technological intervention to develop their fascinating and innovative prototypes as well. So gradually, as the decade goes on, there was a significant progress was observed in the field of pharmaceutical 3D printing. People in the year of 2002, they made the 3D printed miniature or functional kidney, which is nothing but we call it 3D bioprinting techniques. But the main important thing that basically shook the entire nation, entire globe, entire field of pharmaceutical research is in the year of 2015 when US FDA approved the world's first 3D printed oral drug called Spreatum. And before that, people thought that okay, this is a kind of a fancy thing. This is not that much great. This is not that much advanced. It is not that much personalized and customized. But when US FDA in the year 2015 approved the world first 3D printed tablets that is called Spreatum, then it basically captures the attention of all the audience throughout the globe. Oh my God, that means it is something where US FDA also is giving emphasis. So who are we? So at the same time, 2016, US FDA published technical dossier for additive manufacturing and medical device, a guidance for the industry FDA administration staff dossier. And that basically a kind of a framework, regulatory framework, but not that much stringent, not that much critical, same ANDA filing kind of process, conventional process, ones have to obey. But still FDA published taking this 3D printing into the consideration. But till now, till date, there are a lot of questions are roaming around. One is okay, whether it can be manufactured in a large scale, whether there are sufficient amount of drugs and polymers are there to develop this kind of material, whether one size can fit for all, whether on-demand manufacturing can be possible, and whether the concept of the personalization, customization are feasible for these kind of things or not. So these are the current questions, current challenges, current concerns, but still the world is moving ahead, the technology is also moving ahead, and also research is moving ahead to justify each and every point. Okay, yes, everything is feasible, nothing is impossible. So if you talk about 3D printing in pharmaceutical sector, so in the pharmaceutical sector, the 3 of 3D printing basically is nothing but the design, develop, and dispense. That means the first is to, you have to design something, that is your virtual design, that is your CAD design or computer aided design. And once your design part is done, then you go for the development part. That is your second D. Once the development part is done with the help of 3D printers, then this is ready for further dispensing. So that is the simple adaptive concept of 3D in the pharmaceutical field. And this is the slides where I would like to capture all of your attention. This slide is basically talking about the flexibility for customization of the product. With the help of a single 3D printer, with the help of different platform technology, you can do miracles. And these are the evidence of miracles. One single printer can able to print different type of innovative and fascinating drug delivery devices. So here at the extreme left hand side, you can see from the using one FDM based 3D printing system, you can make different type of tablet or capsular geometry. On the other way, on the right hand side of this particular slide, you can see how different type of dosage form, I mean to say tortoise kind of tablets, bear kind of shapes, star, moon, love, ring, multi-channels, pyramid, donut, whatever kind of structure you want to make, yes, you would be able to make with the help of 3D printing technology, which is very tough in the case of conventional manufacturing. On the other way, monolithic versus hollow system. So monolithic versus hollow system, if you look at this particular slide, so it is also very much evident what kind of miracle, what kind of magic, what kind of innovation we can do with the 3D printing technology. So here at the extreme right hand side, it is very obvious with the help of 3D printing, you can do single compartment, multi-compartment based delivery system. Not only it is restricted to the fabrication of tablet, you can make capsule also, and capsule in a multi-compartment device system, like your lower berth, upper berth, lower berth, middle berth, and upper berth kind of multi-compartmental delivery system, intra-layer delivery system, interlayer delivery system, coated delivery system. So everything as far as monolithic and hollow structure is concerned is feasible and doable with these 3D printing techniques. So when we are talking about the 3D printing techniques, we should also talk about the peer scientists, who are the person who basically are exclusively working in the field of 3D printing. So here I would like to introduce, this slide is basically tells about a group of researchers situated at University College of London School of Pharmacy, namely Professor Abdul Basit, Simon Gasifold, and Alvaro Guanes. So these people are basically, their lab is exclusively working on the pharmaceutical 3D, 4D printing kind of techniques. And not only that, they're also currently infusing the additive manufacturing with the artificial intelligence based system. So they're one of the path-breaking scientists, they're the leader in terms of doing those kind of miracles in the field of science. So when we're talking about the paradigm shift, so these are the people which is basically taking a big leadership role in terms of paradigm shift of the pharmaceutical education and research towards the next generation cutting edge technologies movement. So On the other hand, from the Queen University, Belfast, London, there is another professor called Dimitris Lamprou, and another professor from the University of Texas at Austin. Basically, he's one of my collaborators, Muhammad Manirujjaman. So, and finally, Li Feng Kang. These people are also working in the different dimension of additive manufacturing techniques. In fact, Li Feng Kang, this gentleman is also working the in vitro disease and delivery models of 3D printing rather than making the drug delivery system. So every people having their own identity, own skill sets of research, own thought process, and own implementations of the paradigm shift into the pharmaceutical propagation. So this slide is basically delivery statistics. Okay, you can say that 3D printing is only restricted to the oral kind of route. So the answer is no. With the help of the 3D printing kind of technology, with adopting the pharmacoengineering concept, one can able to make different type of delivery system in a different route of administration, starting from oral, rectal, vaginal, transdermal, topical, implants. In fact, you can also make in vitro drug testing kind of system. So that means that 3D printing is something which is not at all restricted to any particular route of administration. Rather, it is open to all the direction. So once we are talking about 3D printing, so definitely the question will come, okay, what is the procedure? Can we take a 3D printing medicine into the market? So the concept of the 3D printing is very much innovative and fascinating because 3D printing gives you something exciting, something innovative, where in the conventional manufacturing process, we won't be able to pursue it. For example, 3D printing basically something which is not very general in nature. Rather than it is very much unique in terms of personalized medicine, customizations, dosage form flexibility, etc. So once we are talking about the personalized medicines, so then definitely the concept of the pharmacogenomics will come into the picture. But still, in order to implement 3D printing research into the personalized medicine, this is basically the cycle, the approach, okay, starting from disease diagnosis towards the digital prescription. The pharmacist would able to design and print the delivery system based on the patient needs, because patient is the final end user and patient will tell, okay, what kind of dosage form he or she will be requiring, what would be the dose, what would be the structure and other. And based on that, this would be the responsibility of the pharmacist to design, develop, and dispense the 3D concept all together in a single platform and to deliver the formulation to the patient for desired therapeutic outcome. So moving forward to the classification of the 3D printing of materials. So in this particular piece of slide, we can see 3D printing can be dealt with different solid state of materials. Solid state of materials except gaseous form. So the first is the solid based, second is the liquid based, and third is the powder based. Powder based is although under the part of solid based, but still it is different because based on its size as well as based on its nature, like it may be metal powder based material, ceramic powder based material, or polymeric powder based material. But solid based is something which may not be the powder is text. It may be in the filament or wire kind of structure, and where FDA kind of printer is basically dealing with that. For FDM or fused deposition modeling kind of printing system, it is basically a solid based platform technology, and here ones will be requiring the filament or wire based object rather than the powder based material. There is another kind of printer called liquid based or resin based printer, and it basically operates through the VAT photo polymerization technique. And this liquid based of printer is basically working on the stereolithography based approach, which we call SLA based approach, and it is nothing but your VAT photopolymerization techniques. So here the input is the liquid material and the output is the solid 3D printed object. And finally, the powder beds. And under the powder beds, basically I'd like to emphasize on the selective laser sintering or SLS kind of printer, where if you have any polymer or any drug in a powdery based nature, so that can be integrated into this SLA based printer. One can easily feed into this SLA based printer altogether the drug and polymer, and through the process of sintering means a process of powder consolidation or powder fusion bed technique, one can able to prototype this kind of delivery system. So this is the solid based platform techniques called fused deposition modeling. And from this video, you can see how the printing is taking place. So here the feed material is a solid thermoplastic filament, and it basically pushes towards the heated nozzle. It will melt it and then it will get extruded. And the printing process is basically dealt by layer by layer kind of architecture. So this is all about the fused deposition modeling kind of 3D printing system that we are having in our laboratory, and we already developed a lot of innovative product through this kind of printing system technology. This is another kind of 3D printing system, and this 3D printing system, if you see, so here basically it operates through the VAT photopolymerization technique. It is called stereolithographic technique, and from this video you can easily understand how this printer operates. So this is a vat of liquid resin, and in that resin the red color laser is showering at the surface of the resin, and layer by layer the blue line is basically the given fabricated architecture, which is basically gets designed by the layer by layer laser showering technique. And at the extreme left hand side you can see this is the printer, which is orange in color, and the black box is basically the curing part. So here if you look at the video you will see how the prototype is basically forming. So these are the different type of critical complex prototype that can be easily formed with the process of VAT photopolymerization. And here you can see how blue laser is showering at the surface of the resin, and through that how prototypes are emerging out. So this is basically a liquid bed resin, and from that liquid bed resin this is the product which is basically originating from the liquid based reservoir techniques. So the beauty of this kind of technique is that you can make a different type of complex dosage form, high resolution dosage form, smooth surface dosage form, and especially in the jewelry and the dentistry it is widely applicable. This is another round of printer. This is called powder based printer or selective laser based printer, and from the animation you can see how this printer works. So this is the roller, and this roller basically passing the powder at the surface of the printer from both left and right hand side, and once the powder is feeded at the feed bed side, then the laser will shower and it will basically consolidate the material. So now see the roller is already supplied the powder, and then the red color laser is showering at the surface of the powder, and finally it will get fused, consolidated, sintered, and then one can able to get his desired prototype through this. So I will give few examples, whatever the research we did with this kind of 3 different platform technology in the next course of my presentation. So moving forward, this slide is basically talking about the different type of oral solid dosage form. I already mentioned 3D printing technology, one can make a different types of oral solid dosage form, and this is a kind of an example. I'm not detailing to that. Also 3D printing will gives you a flexibility to make immediate kind of dosage form, intermediate kind of dosage form, control release, sustained release, pulsatile release, targeted release that may be targeted into the intestine, that may be targeted into the colon, that may be targeted into the stomach, at any part of the body. So this kind of flexibility you can also easily get with the process of 3D printing techniques. Apart from oral drug delivery system, with the help of 3D printing system, you can make transdermal, topical, as well as implant-based delivery devices. And this is a kind of a very interesting piece of slide, where this slide is basically telling about the in vitro drug testing system. This is not about the drug delivery system. It is all about in vitro drug testing system. And in this in vitro drug testing system, you can make a different type of models like nasal, ocular, drug transport, antimicrobial resistance, cardiovascular, etc. by using 3D printing technique. And you can test your desired model drug with the involvement of different aim model. So this is another very much important and interesting dimension of the research work. And I already mentioned Li-Feng Kang is the person who is basically working in the in vitro drug testing kind of system. So now moving towards the scope of the 3D printing system, the choice of the 3D printing system. If you would like to think about working on the 3D printing kind of system, employing the pharmacoengineering approach, so the first and foremost thing, okay, you have to have a good knowledge on the CAD and CAM design. Secondly, that is nothing but your printing and prototyping parts. Second is the material features. That is called the new material for the additive manufacturing. And once you have to create your own material, you have to generate your own material, and that there should be some features of the generated material which will be useful for the 3D printing techniques. The first is the biocompatibility. Second one is the biodegradability. But if your material is biocompatible but not biodegradable, then also it is fine. You can go ahead. And that is the beauty of this kind of technology platform system. Okay, without disintegrating, without degrading the matrix inside the biological system, you can able to release the drug from the matrix, and the remaining excipients part or the matrix part will excreted out from the body without intervening into any biological system. So this is called a non-biodegradability or ghost approach, and that is basically a very much fascinating in the field of this kind of platform technology. Also, the developed prototype or the implemented feedstock should have good physico-technological behavior. That is very, very important to justify, and also sufficient printing resolution, because if anyone of you is planning to make microneedle or implants kind of structure, so in order to do that, we have to have very much thorough and focused on the printing resolution aspect. And that is why 3D printing will basically gives you this kind of flexibility to make it. And finally, the appropriate mechanical strength. And that is very, very important for any additive manufacturing or 3D printing kind of product research. Okay, the dosage form has to be robust enough, hard enough, it should not be that much fragile, and it should possess enough tensile and mechanical strength into it. So these are some future directions and challenges to the 3D printing technology. The first is the scalability, because it is something which is not general. It is something which is highly specific towards the patient needs. That is called personalization. And this personalization approach, it is very difficult to scalable it into a very industrial level, because every patient's community having their own individual requirement, own individual demand, different dose, different genomic aspects. So that is why scalability is very much important concern on this particular technological platform aspects. AM ecosystem is also very much important, because till now, till date, in the syllabus of our curriculum, AI and AM has not been implemented very well. So now there is a need to implement this kind of studies, implementation of artificial intelligence, implementation of additive manufacturing, 3D printing in the curriculum from the BPharm level or from the postgraduate level is the need of the hour, and it is very much required to implement those thought process. Material safety is also another prime and important aspect of 3D printing, because printing is nothing if you don't have material. So material is everything when you have printer. So that is why material and its safety, this is one of the important aspects that one needs to be taken care of. Regulatory challenges is still not framed for 3D printing techniques. The current conventional process are also basically equally applied to the 3D printing kind of stuffs. So that is why there is no hard and critical regulatory challenges has been framed till now, but still US FDA is on their job, and very soon they will come up with their own regulatory requirement. And finally, the question is about the affordability. Okay, what would be the cost effectiveness? Whether it would be cheap, whether this one side would be really fit for all, and if this is the concern, so how it will be affordable. So this kind of questions is the current scenario, and the scientists and the regulatory agencies, the price determining authority, all are working all together just for its better implementation. So this is one of the biggest success story, as I have already mentioned at the very first event of my presentation, the success of Spreetum. So Spreetum is basically the world's first 3D orodispersible tablet, and this gets cleared in the year of 2015. And the most innovative technology that is called zip dose technology, and the owner of this technology is the Aprecia Pharmaceutical Inc. USA. So USA is the first country who offer the world first 3D printed pills, and the name of the pill is called Spreetum, and the drug is called levetiracetam. It's an anti-leprotic drug into it. So, and also very recently in the year of 2021, last year, FDA also approved another dosage form called Trastec, and it is basically the main composition is T19, which is indicated for the treatment of rheumatoid arthritis. And Trastec is basically the company, and Trastec in China, they basically got the approval from US FDA due to their melt extrusion deposition techniques. It means hot melt extrusion and 3D printing, those two different events will occur simultaneously. This is called a continuous manufacturing process. And by that way, they're able to file the patent, and their product T19, which is basically indicated for the rheumatoid arthritis treatment, got approved by US FDA. So now moving towards the concluding remarks of the 3D printing part, as I have already mentioned, this is basically the paradigm shift into the field of pharmaceutical education and research. And why paradigm shift? Because this is something which is not very much common, not very much general, and it is very, very highly specific and restricted towards the patient community and patient needs. So that is why this is a very much growing area, and it having a lot of different fascinating platform technology, and one can do miracle with the debuting different type of 3D printing technology in making different innovative and fascinating dosage form for the safer and effective implement towards the patients. And the other beauty of this additive manufacturing is here there is a scope of adding. Here there is no scope of subtracting. That means this kind of platform technology is basically offering you to add or to implement other different technology into it. Say, for example, microencapsulation, spheronization, extrusion, pelletization, solid dispersion. Everything can altogether be implemented, be integrated, deployed into the additive manufacturing part without subtracting any other technology. So that is the beauty of this technology, because this technology basically welcoming all the other technology into it so that it can make it more robust, more sustained, and more self-sufficient into its configuration. So this is all about the 3D printing techniques, its genesis, its different platform technology, its application part. So now I will take a quick round of the research work which basically we did in our National Center for Pharmacoengineering facility, which is exclusively on the manufacturing of innovative delivery system on pharmaceutical 3D printing and 4D printing stuffs. So this is the few glimpses of research. I am not going to mention it very broadly because there are a good number of research work has already been carried out under this particular center. But these are some important glimpses of our research work done. Okay, you can see with the help of the stereolithography based 3D printing techniques, we have able to make a microneedle, a reservoir kind based microneedle, hollow microneedle kind of system, and where we have delivered rifampicin into it, and that also we have successfully delivered to the animal, and we have also tested the same device into the pig skin, and we just to determine its efficacy level. Another piece of also work we did just making a 3D printed bilayer housing, that is just to mitigate the drug-drug interaction, drug-drug degradation kind of issues. And here we made it to different types of housing device, incorporating to different and first-line antitubercular drugs like rifampicin and isoniazid into it. And then we delivered it to a segregated compartmental delivery pattern. Another research work also we did, we made a fast disintegrating tablet containing olanzapine, and that also we have verified as per the US limits. And also, I've already mentioned 3D printing is not only restricted to the oral solid dosage form, you can make a transdermal patches also. And we also did in our lab, we made a quercetin that is a kind of a flavonoid based biofilament using 3D printing approach. And this particular medicated skin patch is basically we tested among animals. With the help of 3D printing technology also, we are able to make a different type of hollow capsular devices. Also, we are able to make a solid phase extraction cartridges for estimating the LC-MS human plasma sample. And this is one of the very much interesting work, application of 3D printing in pharmaceutical analysis. As of now, I am talking about 3D printing application in the Sutix venture, but 3D printing can also be implemented to the pharmaceutical analysis part. So whatever the PK kind of study we are doing, instead of doing the liquid-liquid extraction process, we can also welcome the solid phase extraction based technique, and through that we can also able to extract the drug from the plasma and analyze through the HPLC or LCMS based system. There is another kind of research that was also dealt by one of my PhD students, and it is a very interesting topic. So he made the nanoparticle, and after preparation of the nanostructured lipid carrier, he would like to implement it into the additive manufacturing process. And then he come up with his own thought process of making 3D printed wafers. And in this particular piece of wafers, he has basically lined the nanostructured lipid carrier into it. It's a kind of infilling process, you can say. And through that, we're able to estimate its particle release behavior through the dynamic light scattering estimation. So this was, we filed a design patent, and it was also granted by the Indian Design Office. And this is another work of topical film of berberine, and this is a very innovative thought process of stereolithography based approach. And one of the PhD student, he did this work in our laboratory, and he come up with a good result with a good skin, non-skin irritation, non-dermal toxicity kind of behavior. This is another fascinating work which one of my postdoctoral student in lab, Dr. Piyush, he dealt. So he basically made a 3D printed nanocomposite pills. It's a very innovative concept. Okay, you can, if you look at outside, it will look like a tablet. So here you can see, okay, one is red color tablet, one is yellow color tablet, but inside it is completely filled with the nanocomposite pills. And through that, he estimated both the nanoparticle release and the drug release simultaneously. This is another kind of work called selective laser sintering or SLS mediated approach. I already mentioned about this technology in the previous slides. And this is something which is highly industry viable. And through that, you can make a 3D printed tablets, which is completely equal and comparable with the commercially available tablets as well. During the time of pandemic, our pharmacoengineering team come up with an innovative thought process of making antiviral and antimicrobial face shields. And also that particular shields we have designed in-house, we have fabricated, we did a lot of outreach for that. And this is basically the brainchild of one of my master student, Mr. Tushar Kanti Palakar. He basically the man behind the creation of this design and implementation of this thought process, and successfully we were able to transfer this technology to the industry. And this is another piece of work starting from new material fabrication. This is the era that is called advanced material manufacturing. And yes, our lab, National Center for Pharmacoengineering, is working on the similar direction. We are developing our indigenous material, and we are not only developing the indigenous material, we are also parallelly systematically evaluating each and every aspects of those particular fabricated material before printing, just to ensure its printability, feedability, and extrudeability purpose. And this is also a lot of other works of creation of capsule filled up with the microparticle and also filled up with the pellets. So I'm not going to say much details about those different types of work. It will take too much of time, but from this entire pieces of slide you can see a lot of invention, lot of innovations, fascinating cutting edge kind of delivery system can be made. So just I would like to highlight on the last part of the slide, that is called fabrication of caplets. Here you can see we are not using any solid material, we are not using any liquid nor any kind of powder, just using a semi-solid kind of material, kind of a paste like a mass. We are basically fabricating the 3D printing dosage form, which is called the caplets. And this is it's kind of one of the very latest progress in our lab. We made it, we developed it, and we did a lot of critical assessment of this particular event. So moving towards some success stories, and I am always happy to share the success stories, because this success stories is not my success story. These success stories are basically my students' success story, who are basically come up with all these kind of next generation evolving 3D printed formulation. They made 3D printed lozenges, filaments, capsules, 3D printed pellets, microneedles, as well as patch, wafer, many things. So that is the beauty of this kind of platform technology. That is a kind of paradigm shift, and these are all the next generation medicines that any of our generation in future, they are going to have this to mitigate their disease issue. We also successfully able to conceive granted Indian patent in terms of design and in terms of full length patent also from the Indian Patent Office. We did a lot of outreach, and here you can also see we knocked every important door of Assam. We did a significant outreach. We meet with Honorable Chief Minister of Assam, Dr. Hemanta Biswa Sarma ji. We also met Professor Jagdish Mukhi ji, and with this outreach we are able to transfer our technology to the industry called Hindustan Antibiotic Limited. They come forward and they took our invention into the pipeline. This is some peer-reviewed international publication exclusively on the pharmaceutical 3D printing. And yes, we are the first one in the entire India, in the entire nation, who published the paper on the pharmaceutical 3D printing as far as pharmaceutical application or drug delivery application is concerned. And these are all the recent publication outcomes generated from the lab. And these are the basically architects. They are basically the engineers. I mean to say, they are the pharmaco-engineers of my lab, starting from Dr. Pijus to Mr. Pankaj Kumar, IIT Guwahati. He is also doing work in the field of pharmaceutical 3D printing in collaboration with IIT Guwahati and NIPER Guwahati together. and these are the strength of the students currently. And some of them are graduated, some of them are pursuing their postdoc in USA, and few of also in the verge of submission of their thesis. And they are basically the warriors, they are basically the creator of all those success. And this is their lab where they are working day and night all together to make the things on limelight. And this slide is basically their slides of success. What are the fame, what are the achievement the student achieved till now, till date. This is the representation of this particular piece of slides. And I am also happy to share to all of you that we have successfully able to implement this course into our NIPER curriculum. If you see the extreme top right hand side corner, so there is a syllabus called Drug Delivery Engineering of 2 credits. Under this particular segment of Drug Delivery Engineering, the chapter C is all about the additive manufacturing engineering part. And that is the kind of ecosystem that we have already created into the NIPER system. We have already implemented this kind of courses into the curriculum to mitigate the need of the hour. And our job is not only to do the research up to the lab level, we are also moving forward, translating the pharmaceutical 3D printing into the reality, just to convert the phenomena myth to reality. And the reality is, yes, there is a company called Andhra Pradesh MedTech Zone. This is the India first medical device company located at Visakhapatnam. And this is the building, and the name of this building is 3D Printing Center or Think 3D. And this entire building is exclusively, they are working on the 3D printing kind of stuff. And recently they have given us 2 projects. You can see this is the offer letter, and this they also want our intervention, and they are also giving us the project to successful implementation of the 3D printing system into the reality part. Apart from industry, I am also thankful to other funding agencies or Indian premier funding agencies like DST, GBT, ICMR, Northeast Center for Biological Healthcare, IIT Guwahati, DST Government of Assam, and yes, Andhra Pradesh MedTech Zone. This all came forward together. They believe our thought process. They got some confidence on our research. They funded us, and we have successfully executed many of the funding agencies' project in a well successful manner. And this is our campus, and the beauty of the campus is in the lab of IIT Guwahati and AIIMS Guwahati under the vibrant, dynamic leadership of Dr. U.S.N. Murthy, the director of NIPER Guwahati. And apart from, and this currently NIPER Guwahati having in total 8 departments, but apart from 8 departments, we do have 8 different national centers. It is not 8, it is right now 9. I need to update my slides. So right now we do have 9 national centers apart from regular department at the NIPER Guwahati, and these are the all centers. Out of this, I have only highlighted the National Center for Pharmacoengineering, but there are many more centers are there. You are all welcome to see and visit us at any day, any time. And this is the sophisticated instruments facility at NIPER Guwahati. If you want to do any kind of sample analysis, yes, you are welcome. Everything is there in the website. You can process with that. And finally, I would like to conclude my talk today, taking the inspiration from mythology to pharmacology with this particular piece of slide. And this is the kind of inspiration I always used to get when I get an opportunity to board from Calcutta Airport. This is the world first 3D printed Durga idol made by 3D printing worldwide. And seeing this creature, seeing this fascination, innovation, the architect, really, I was so fascinated. I was so inspired. We thought, yes, really we can do something interesting, taking the inspiration from the myth and making them into the reality. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's all for the day. And thank you for your kind attention. And I will be happy to take any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for the magnificent presentation and enlightening in us with your knowledge and experiences. I am sure all the students and faculty members have benefited from your wonderful lecture. And now we move on to the question answer session. Sir, can we take our first question?
Yeah, please. Yeah, PPL, please carry on. What is the first question?
If anyone has any questions, ask him. You can turn on the microphone or message in the chat box. All the participants, if anyone has any questions, ask our speaker. You can turn on the microphone or message in the chat box.
Yeah, don't hesitate. Ask question. Don't shy. Don't afraid. Whatever in your mind, whatever you understand, just feel free to ask. So would you find the topic is interesting? That is my question to all of you. Or it is something, it's a boring. Obviously my lecture is very much boring, but the topic is interesting or not, that you have to tell us.
No, sir, it was interesting. Thank you, sir.
So I think
Okay,
in
thank you.
Texas, USA, sir, it's almost midnight now. So thank you for being with us this time. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Piali. Yes, it is almost midnight. So that's why I'm getting yawning many times.
Yeah.
So, but still, thank you. Thank you all for your kind attention. And if you have any question, so don't hesitate to write me in my email ID, which is already available in the website.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Bye-bye. Thank you all. Have
Thank
a
you,
great
sir.
day.
For all participants, feedback form will share in chat box. Kindly fill the form before leaving. Thank you everyone for your valuable presence. Stay safe and have a nice day ahead. Kindly fill the form before leaving.
Completed, ma'am.
Okay. You can leave now. And
Thank you, ma'am.